We're trying to inspire a new generation of engineers, and it's working.
You don't get many chances in life to be involved in a race team. Really important. It builds their engineering skills, their design skills. They appreciate the level of work that's involved and how they have to do it.
I think it's absolutely crucial to support youth projects for sustainable energy. These people are the future, obviously.
Competing against hundreds of schools from across the country, South Bromsgrove's team of young engineers are about to engage in the world's most energy-efficient racing series. This is Greenpower Racing. This is Formula 24.
We've got a brand new vehicle called the Bantam Car. I didn't name it that, and the vehicle can get up to relatively high speeds, up to 30 miles an hour.
It's a tough challenge, and it's been hard work, especially working with the car that we've got.
That's a really good example of how lots of minds together can make something work when perhaps one mind wouldn't.
With the new car in production, the team are looking forward to the season ahead, competing for the lead at regional races, in order to gain a place at the prestigious international finals.
The Greenpower project's really important for the development of pupils' personal skills because it gives them an opportunity to work on areas of competence and skill that they wouldn't necessarily work on in the curriculum design that we have. So not only are they working outside of school in their own time with teachers who've got a particular interest in the area of vehicle racing, but also they're accessing and tapping into skills, building and designing and making and racing and solving problems that are part of what we do in school, but it provides a much more specific environment for them to work in.
My favourite part is learning about the electricals and that side of engineering and connecting all the wires and learning how to power the car. I think it's good fun and good life experience.
Our sort of manufacturing is dying away, and we're relying more and more on imports. It's been said in the past that the UK will develop it and someone else will exploit it and someone else will improve it. So to keep that cycle going, yes, it's very important to bring new engineers into today's world.
I think it's important that young people know about electric cars and how they work as well as what they are. Most people tend to think of electric cars being very slow. At the last electric vehicle convention I went to in Malvern, there was one made by Porsche and your top speed of 250 miles an hour. So the big companies are getting involved.
It's very important to have students engaged in hands-on experience. It's actually being able for them to learn a wide area of skills. They can learn about design, engineering, manufacture. They can learn the actual race team as well, as part from driving skills and other skills of being able to manage and working a team.
I'm very impressed by what I've seen, the work done by the project and the students at South Bromsgrove High. It's got some great coverage, it's getting some national coverage, and again I think it acts as a way to sort of infuse others. It's an inspiration to others. Engineering can lead to so many fantastic careers, and obviously cars, and you're building bridges, aerospace. There's so many options, and Britain is good at engineering. We always have been.
Over 500 teams take part in the programme, travelling from across the globe to compete in the international finals.
the young people around this area are the young people that we would hope to engage in employment in the future. So anything that we can get involved with young people, young adults at that sort of age is important for the development of future business.
I think this is the first time I've seen something of this high standard in a local school where I've been sort of invited to have a look, and I'm terribly impressed by what I've seen. But what I am seeing more of as well is local companies. We're lucky in the West Midlands area that we have a number of world-class engineering companies, both sort of small and obviously the larger ones like Jaguar Land Rover and others. And I think those companies want to get involved more with local schools as well, which is great to see and should be encouraged.
Every race meet there's a £70 registration. Then there's the petrol of just getting there, the hire of the minibus. And then there's the parts. I mean, if something goes wrong, they can be expensive to replace. So we're not talking about, a big commercial run of 500,000 to 1 million vehicles. So if the motor burns out, that's £170.
My favourite part of working on the Greenpower project most likely got to be the electronics of the car, the wiring, and most likely the electric motor, especially with learning about how it works, like magnets and brushes within inside it.
It actually has an application to business and design and promotion, and there's so many skills that can be developed through Greenpower, really. Confidence as well.
The Greenpower project was introduced to us by a pupil of the school. My interest in sort of technology, certainly technology that's coming as opposed to technology that's here, is very dear to my heart. So it was something that we thought that we could get involved with on a local level.
It's important that you make sure that the construction of the vehicle is light and efficient, and all of those skills that are learned in this project I think will be transferable in later life, hopefully for students to get a job or be involved in research in the future.
So it's something different, it's something real, it's something tangible, it's something that students can work on outside of curriculum time, and which has a benefit for all of us taking part.
I've included the Greenpower project on my CV as it's something unique and not something everybody can say, especially because it's not a scheme that's massive, although it is growing. It's something that's quite unique to South Bromsgrove at the moment.
It's real world application, and it does extend the knowledge, and it means students have to think beyond just learning a set number of answers that's governed by the specification. The answer to the problem in front of them may not be something that's in a book. They may have to think of something else.
Well, for Britain, we're doing well in terms of businesses at the moment. In terms of business growth, we've got a record number of businesses. But what all those businesses agree on, what they need for further growth, is more skilled young people. And at the heart of that is engineering, because we do have a shortage and we want to see more young people training, and I think this kind of project helps to achieve just that.
So if we can get people to use electric vehicles in the future, that's important, and learning to race and all the rest of it is a fun part of it, so it's a good way of learning.
This vehicle we didn't originally construct. It was an undergraduate project of somebody who wanted to recycle as much as possible. So it's got a steel frame and a plywood body. At the races there's a transponder and an automatic leaderboard where you can read the data of performance. So when it was going well, we touched 30 miles an hour with it.
I've always felt that one of the great responsibilities of schools is to prepare young people for life outside of school, both when they're at school and when they're beyond school leaving age. And I think one of the great things about the Greenpower project is it really looks at real life applications, and you're working in that environment after school. We know that some of our students will go on and become engineers. We know that some students are great at fixing bikes or cars, even though they're still at school, and they'll use that expertise either in their own career path stretches or as a personal hobby in years to come.
The Greenpower project will definitely help my employability. It's an experience within engineering and electronics, which, as always, employees need these days, and it may give me the edge over a job.
The Greenpower project, electric vehicles is the future, and engaging young adults at this age in the future has to be a good thing.
Getting jobs is not easy nowadays, and employers tend to say to us that a lot of people who come out of school, they can read and write and do some academic subjects, but what they really want are people who can apply a subject with some practical knowledge. So not necessarily getting a job in the future where you'll be building an electric car, although some of you may do, but the fact that you've actually used your skills, thought about it, done some analysis, worked out the mathematics, the physics behind it, all that kind of thing. There's a lot of employers in this country who really want that. I know that this team and the Greenpower team are taking advantage of all the facilities and the learning and the teaching that's available. The other good thing about it as well is the fact that you go to race meets and meet other teams, so there's a social side of it as well.
Engineering is at the heart of innovation, it's the heart of skills. So for example, we're trying to get more and more young people to do apprenticeships, and the types of apprenticeships we want, we want a variety, but I definitely want to see more in what we call the STEM subjects, so in science and technology, engineering, mathematics, and this helps to promote that.
Working in engineering is something I'd feel more confident about now because of the experience that Greenpower gives you. I think it's a very good industry and has lots of job opportunities, plus also it's something you can progress as long as you put the work in and you understand what you're talking about.
You actually apply the skills that you're taught about in lessons, you then actually see what it means in the real world. Just like a circuit diagram is more than just a square box with a bulb and a battery in it, but the actual wiring will bend all over the place. So it's very real. Problem solving, team working, personality clashes, it's all got to be done. And so it's very good. It's a real world experience and taking responsibility for things, yeah.
Local companies can get involved by sponsoring us and being placed on the side of the car, which will raise their profile as well.
You're having to do the engineering in a realistic framework, and that's what business people want.
My participation in the Greenpower project has definitely inspired me to join the world of engineering as I leave school, especially with electronics. I seem to enjoy that a lot, with electric motors, as well as computer work and the combination of the two.
Electric power cars are the future.
It's been a tough engineering challenge, especially when we think we've got the solution and it turns out not to be.
I think it gets more and more young people interested in engineering, and that's hugely important. We don't have enough young people that take up engineering.
And with the world energy shortages, etc., electric vehicles make sense.
I'm really pleased the Greenpower team is continuing to work well.